Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Monday, July 20th, 2009. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 p.m. in Bermuda, 9:30 a.m. in Mexico City. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-667-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. On this day in history, of course, 40 years ago today, in 1969, Neil Armstrong first set foot on the moon. That is something you're probably aware of. You might not be aware of the fact that in 1977, there was a flash flood in Johnstown, Pennsylvania that killed 80 people. And did about $350 million in damage. And of course, on July 20th, 1944, Adolf Hitler was nearly killed in an assassination attempt at his Rastenburg, East Prussia headquarters on Count von Stauffenberg. His bomb exploded on the other side of an oaken panel under his table. The war would have been a little bit shorter, and many hundreds of thousands of lives could have been saved. We have some breaking economic news that has come in. The index of U.S. leading economic indicators, in fact, rose during the month of June for a third straight month. This reinforces signs that the economy may be emerging from the worst recession in 50 years. The Conference Board's gauge of the economic outlook for the next 3 to 6 months increased 0.7% more than forecast. This after a revised 1.3% gain in May. It's the first time the index has climbed for 3 months in a row since 2004. The stock market likes it. It's up about 44 points now. Now we'll go to our main news. In reinsurance news, the London broker Miller has appointed Nick Early and Tony Dryden to its facultative reinsurance business unit. Both joined from Aon Benfield. Early specializes in the production and placement of facultative reinsurance on behalf of UK domiciled cedents. Dryden focuses on facultative reinsurance and wholesale Asian business, primarily high-tech from Taiwan. They're the latest additions to the facultative business unit at Miller, which was launched in June of this year. Miller specializes in reinsurance, complex large commercial risks, and program business. Of course, it's a wholly owned subsidiary of Miller Insurance Investments Limited. One of the nation's largest insurers, one of the American largest insurers, unveiled a plan on Friday to shift the authority for regulating rates for hurricane wind coverage from state regulators to an independent federal commission. The president of Travelers Companies, Brian McLean, presented the plan on Friday at an insurance forum in Biloxi, Mississippi. McLean said that federal oversight of homeowner rates in 4 U.S. coastal zones could create a more stable market for insurers and homeowners than the current state-by-state regulation. His proposal would require congressional approval, but McLean said that it would not require any taxpayer subsidies. Quote, "At the end of the day, what we want is a viable insurance market. We're not looking to limit our marketplace, we're looking to figure out how we can grow it." Insurance companies say their homeowner policies cover damage from a hurricane's wind, but not its flood. Insurers sell separate flood policies that are subsidized by the federal government. Travelers says its proposed regulatory changes only would apply to homeowners' wind coverage for named storms, while states would continue to regulate, quote, "all other perils." Eric Nelson, who is the vice president of risk management at Travelers, said state insurance commissioners could have representatives on the independent commission proposed by the company. Travelers' goal is to foster regulatory stability, quote, "so the rules don't change so frequently after a storm." Some insurance commissioner reaction came from one of the attendees. It's the Louisiana Insurance Commissioner, Jim Donelon. He said he's open to federal intervention, but he wouldn't favor ceding too much authority to the federal government. So it's a novel idea. We'll see what happens. In London, some news. The United Kingdom has downgraded its terror threat level to substantial this morning. It's the lowest threat level in 3 years. The government stresses that it still faces a real and serious threat. The new level means an attack is a strong possibility, according to the Home Secretary. It's a reduction from the severe level, which means an attack is highly likely. 4 years after 56 people were killed in suicide bombings in central London. The 5-grade threat level was first made public back in August of 2006. It was twice briefly raised to the top critical level, meaning that an attack is expected imminently. The last time was surrounding the failed attacks in London and Glasgow in June of '07. But it hasn't been made as low as substantial since the threat level was first publicly made known in June of '06. The Home Secretary said that the decision to lower the level had been taken by the Joint Terrorism Analysis Center, which is a unit within the MI5 Domestic Intelligence Agency. Stock market remains up about 48 points. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation.
Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
There's been severe flooding in Mongolia, a place not normally associated with severe flooding, but more than 20 people have died there. Hundreds were made homeless as the worst flooding to hit the area in decades wreaked havoc on the landlocked nation. The Beijing-based International Red Cross spokespeople said 23 had been confirmed killed. The full damage assessment from the rainstorms that struck the capital of Ulaanbaatar and the western Gobi Altai province last week is still being compiled. About 2,000 homes, however, have been affected, with 125 of them destroyed. Up in western Canada, around 17,000 people have been forced to evacuate their homes in the Kelowna region of British Columbia. Forest fires have already consumed about 750 acres of land. At least 9 houses have been destroyed by the flames. They've crossed a highway, forcing the evacuation of nearly 7,000 homes, but thus far have not caused any damage or injuries. I should say have not caused any injuries or deaths. They've caused a number of homes destroyed. The British Columbia Fire Department says that 80 firefighters have been dispatched to supplement the team of 50 that were already on the ground in the area about 217 miles east of Vancouver. According to Xinhua, the Chinese news agency, there was another earthquake off the South Island of New Zealand this morning. We have the shot here. You can see it's each one of those little squares represents aftershocks to the big 7.8 quake. The Chinese are reporting that it was a magnitude 5.2. The USGS is not reporting any seismic activity, but we figured we'd pass that one on. It is sort of a slow news day, but that does not mean that news is not occurring. There are 3 points that do need to be mentioned. As we speak today, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is wrapping up her visit to India, and she has announced a U.S.-India arms deal that is going to have the Indians supplied with the latest jet fighters. Yesterday in Tehran, Iran, the reigning Ayatollah announced that the prayer remarks that were made in the mosque by Ayatollah Rafsanjani on Friday, warning the ruling clerical elite that in fact the election was a fraud and that former Prime Minister Mousavi must have a recount, are in fact very dangerous remarks to make and could